Good afternoon and welcome to the Green Garage Awards 2022 Winners Announcement Webinar. I'm Annette Williams, NAFA's Meetings Manager, and I'll be kicking off today's webinar. Before we begin, I would like to go over a few housekeeping details with a reminder that this session is being recorded and the attendees will receive an email with the link to the video recording and the handouts. For those not familiar with Zoom, please note that there is a chat icon at the bottom of your screen. When you click on it, a box will open. If you have a question, please type it there. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to the award judges, Gary and Courtney.
All right, thanks everyone for attending. We're going to kind of roll down the list of the awardees for the Green Garage Award. And with that, I want to go ahead and do self-introductions. And this is our Chief Judge, Courtney. Courtney, would you like to do a quick bio and give us some background?
Hi, everyone. I'm so very excited you're here today. My name is Rhea Courtney Bosick. I'm an environmental scientist and I've worked with alternative fuels since 2002. So some of you I know, some of you I don't know, but I want to really express appreciation for everyone who took the time to fill out the application for this because it is a lot of work and we're so excited. Today is the day that we're coming to where we're going to find out how everyone placed. So I'm thrilled that you're all here.
Thank you, Courtney. And myself, I'm Gary Lynch. I'm from Eugene Water and Electric Board, otherwise known as EWEB. We are a utility, actually the oldest public utility in the state of Oregon. But for myself, I've been in the fleet for over 40 years. With that said, I've been on NAFA's committees, NAFA certification committees, and we actually did part of the writing of the manual for the fleet sustainability contest. As far as the Green Garage, our garage, it's something we've had. We went through an EcoBiz certification a little over 10 years ago, and we still maintain that certification in our garage. It was kind of the foundation working with Tom Johnson, which did a great job of putting this together. So with that, we got the contest and we got it, we're rolling out. And so let's go with that. So we're going to, first of all, talk a little bit about the applications. And when we sit there as a judge, there's just a lot of applications. There's a lot of information. You have to kind of do a quick overview of what you have so you can equally balance them. In every application that we did, we actually went over once and then came back to them and went through them again. And what we really saw, this is what the top 10 applications reflected this year. And again, similar to the Green Fleet contest that we normally have through NAFA, when we put a question out there, we want you to address the question. So on some applications, we kind of saw where they kind of wavered, and the story that they told or the result was actually part of a question that was down lower there. So kind of look over your application and actually put together on doing them. And again, the existing cast or the staff and your coworkers, what you can reflect in the application is you could see the we's, and they talk about different parts of their department, and it's a team thing. So when you have a green garage, it's not the fleet manager or fleet professional in there. They're going out and they're reaching for some stuff that's going out there. And again, aim for perfection. And some applications, it's really great applications, but then you miss a paragraph. It's kind of like a copy and a paste or something on there, and they don't put the whole story. So make sure you pre-read it, make sure it flows and it goes through. And again, just don't say you're a green garage, give the facts. We want to know why. We want to know, back up those accomplishments. The ones that actually got out there actually gave us some facts and some figures of what they're doing, where their percentage of growth and what they've been going on. So again, it's telling that interesting story that makes you a top 10 fleet. And then from all the applications, what we found this year was recycling and facilities were the highest influence on scores. You don't necessarily have to have a brand new garage. We found some of the applicants that were out there this year, they were actually in fairly old garages. They just did some modern practices. And some of those practices are just normal stuff you do on the shop floor, solvent tanks, using for cleanup. How do you clean up your debris? Where does it go? And again, we wanted to hear about their practice. The contest contest is a green garage practice. So that's what we are looking for. Follow behind the recycling facilities, the ones that really kind of show special events and outreach. We wanted to see when people brought folks into their fleet to show what it is. That was followed by procurement. They talked about procurement policies and how those procurement policies they had in fleet, how did the rest of your organization kind of adopt those policies? And then it was staff, how we get our staff motivated, the innovation, the new things we come out. This is how we grow. And probably the things we'd like to see more of, but it was lower on the list from the scores. We want to hear about your challenges. Everybody's tied with money, but sometimes those challenges are beyond that. And again, don't leave any blanks. Be sure and tell us your story and why. And so we're going to go ahead and get to the awards pile, and let's go ahead and do it. We had a lot of great applications, but we want to definitely honor those ones that were the honorable fleets for this year. And with that, we'd like to honor the city of Long Beach, California. What a great application. They did a great job. Cobb County's been a fleet that's been a contender for contests for years. They were actually a really good application. We just had some really high ones on the back of it. CPS Energy, if I remember, Courtney, this is the first year for them that they put in on the contest, and I want to acknowledge with that, with Baltimore Gas and Electric. Smithsonian Institute, there's somebody that was very new that was bringing in and doing it. And they got some really great stories that they put together. And that was followed by the city of Birmingham and the village of, is it Montelaine? Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, this is a small village outside of Chicago. So we were thrilled. They applied for the Green Fleet Contest and the Green Garage. So if you're on the webinar, Village of Montelaine, we're thrilled that you're participating.
Yeah, and again, this was getting to the top 10. So the reason we're here today is we're gonna go through the top 10 in order of how they ranked, and then we actually have 3 fleets that are going to be talking about their fleet operation. So with that, Courtney, I'm going to turn it back over to you as we start the countdown.
Yes, so in the interest of briefness, I picked out certain things that I really liked about these fleets, but this by no means indicates that there's not other wonderful things that these fleets are doing. So this contest is really intended to share best practices. This was the brainchild of Tom Johnson. A few years ago, I helped him develop the content. This contest is supposed to be fun and a way to share. So I would say to everyone on the webinar, if you see a good idea here that we're talking about today, you can easily reach out to these fleet managers. They love sharing what they've done. They love telling their story. And that's really what we're looking for with the contest here, is the sharing, the telling of stories. So number 10, Lake Tran is a public transit authority in Northern Ohio. Lake Tran does so many things so well, but I did pick out their outreach. I was so very impressed. They attended 48 events. I'm not sitting here saying that you fleet managers should be able to attend 48 events or hold 48 events, but if you hold one event, we as the judges are very interested in that. We love to see that you're inviting people in, you're sharing information, you're participating. This is a very important part of these contests. They reached, and they also had metrics. They reached 13,520 people, very impressive. The metrics component just of any of the questions is something that we as the judges look for. We like to know your accomplishments, but if you can quantify them, it's very important. And as I always say, don't carry the burden of doing this application yourselves. You know, rely on other departments, rely on the environmental department, the planning department, the executive assistant to your executive office, whether it's the mayor or the county executive or whomever. Rely on them to help you with this. So number 9, the University of California at Irvine. This is a very, very impressive fleet and on many, many levels. I picked out the recycling to talk to you about today. They have a recycling manager and employee recycling training that they do every 3 years. We're very interested in training because it shows you're evolving, you're committed, and the training just helps people refresh their minds to what they're supposed to be doing. Training is just essential in so many different aspects of fleet management. The University of California at Irvine has the most careful reuse and surplusing of things that I myself have ever seen. They are mindful of everything they bring into their garage. That doesn't cost any money. Mindfulness does not cost money. It just means that you're aware of what you're doing. And that's what Gary and I are really looking for. Like, we want to know, what are you thinking about? What actions are you taking? They surplus almost everything. They even have a store on campus that resells things. So it's really interesting. Number 8, the County of Ventura, California. I picked out innovation for this fleet. They're doing all kinds of electrification work. They're in their shop, they have electric service carts. Very, very interesting. The other thing I really liked that they mentioned in their application was they're doing a whole set of training for this EV rollout. I mean, we know that we don't know what to expect with these electric vehicles. Training is gonna, improve safety, awareness, how these things are gonna operate. And I thought it was very interesting. They were able to get their battery provider, Delco, to do a training for them. I mean, these equipment manufacturers, these OEMs, they can do the training for you. That's their products. And, you can put that in your specs when you acquire these new vehicles and technologies. Put training right in there that they have to provide training for your staff. That, again, is free. It takes the time out of the shop day, but, you don't have to do the training design. They're doing it for you. Number 7, another very, very impressive fleet. City of Edmonton, the capital of the province of Alberta, Canada. And we really want to thank them for applying. They have excellent green procurement. Very, very well thought out policy. They also have a very impressive facility. And again, they're extremely mindful of everything that went into that facility. They actually reused material from their old facility in making their new facility. Very, very interesting. This is sort of a lead practice. Some of you might be more familiar with leadership in energy design. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But they have a real commitment to carbon neutrality, and they're not diverging from that in any way. Okay, Gary, next slide.
Okay.
Okay, this is a really exciting part, everybody. All right, we had a tie for number 5. It was getting really hard at this point to decide, okay, who are these best fleets? I think Gary will concur.
Yeah, it was a tough contest this year.
It was really, so, we kind of said, all right, we both liked the number 5 fleets. That's why it ended up being a tie. So the City of Albany, Georgia Fleet Management Department, what I feel about this fleet is so important is nobody is making them do all these green things. They're doing it voluntarily. That, to me, is a huge, huge point. So let's just talk about some of the things they're doing. And this is something Gary always says. We want to see your shop practices, really talk about that. We want to know, what are you doing on the shop floor? So they're buying green degreasers. That's something anybody can do. Green cleaning products, green hydraulic oil. Everybody knows if you get a hydraulic oil spill, what a mess. But if you have these more bio-based hydraulic oils, there goes your problem right there. So they've really looked at their chemicals that they're using in their shop and said, how can we make these more eco-friendly? And I'm sure this is something that any of these top fleets would be happy to help you with if this is something you're interested in learning about. Okay, here's another new applicant we have in the contest, DuPage Forest Preserve. Now, this is a small preserve outside of Chicago. And if Bailey Arnold's on the webinar, I don't know, Bailey, if you told them to apply, if you did, that's terrific. We have so many applicants from around Chicago. There's so many great things happening up there. And I do think it's because the American Lung Association is really helping with this awareness about alternative fuels and green fleet practices. So this is a very small fleet in a preserve. They're very committed to sustainability. Now, this is not something I expect anybody else to do, but I found it fascinating. They take used, the trees that get either fall down or, for whatever reason have to be taken down in the preserve, and they mill them for flooring and other products. I mean, they are digging deep. This is just, to me, so important. I just love it. The other thing they did was, they'll take their old trailers and really go over them and restore them. They're also surplusing found objects in the preserve. I mean, they're selling them and making money. It's a little money is better than no money, I say. And why not, if you could? So number 4, DeKalb County. This is such a DeKalb County, Georgia. It's outside of Atlanta. Such an interesting and committed fleet. The county does so many green fleet things. This is not a green fleet contest, and we do not judge on green fleet things, but I'm sure that DeKalb would be happy to tell you about their green fleet things that they're doing, but they're so committed to sustainability in this county. I chose innovative approaches here, and it's not the fact that they have the EV chargers, it's the way they're deploying them. They have a long-term plan. They have a long-range plan for transportation and renewable energy. One of the aspects of which is how they're rolling out these EV chargers. So they have 75 with 150 more plans. So they're really, they're doing these electric vehicles. And that's it. I mean, it's not talk. Some other things they do just in terms of good practices, they have a rain barrel water collection system. They do storm drain management. They don't want all kinds of things getting into the storm drains. Another thing not on the slide, they cover their dumpsters. I mean, maybe you're all doing that. I don't know. I see a lot of open dumpsters where I live in New York. It's not exactly known for its cleanliness outside of New York, in and out around New York City. So it's just really hard things they're doing and a lot of easy things that anybody can do.
Yeah.
Next slide, Gary.
All right, getting to
All
the
right, this is the
countdown
big
here.
one, the big ones. Now we're delving deeper.
Yeah, and these applicants were just great applications. Lots of details. They talked about their shop operations. They talked about the staff. They talked about everything, what they're doing for their employees. So as we go forward here. And
All right. City of Madison, Wisconsin. There is simply no question in my mind that this fleet has got the enthusiasm to be the best, greenest, and cleanest fleet in the country. That part was completely clear from their application, and we're very, very lucky today. They're going to be speaking, and I can't wait to hear what they have to say. So they did not know, any of these top fleets did not know where they placed today. So they're all finding out right now. They have an absolutely phenomenal facility. It's a LEED Gold certified facility. Now let's just review LEED. It starts with bronze. Then it goes to silver. It's very hard to have a silver certified facility. To have a gold certified facility is kind of mind-blowing. Now let's talk about some of the things they have at this facility. completely comprehensive energy efficiency and solar power. They have 800 panels, which cover 60% of their electricity needs and all of their hot water needs. Very, very impressive. Now, as they said, we don't expect every little fleet to be able to have a gold certified facility. But if you can take one thing out of these best fleets, just one thing, then we will have fulfilled our goals for this contest. That's really what this is about, is ideas. So what else do they have? Passive solar wall heating. I would like to have that myself, let me tell you. It's rather cold here in New York today. Radiant floor heat piping. I mean, this is just a phenomenal facility. They're very serious about using Wisconsin-based products. They use cooking oil and the soy oil for their biodiesel. There's a biodiesel plant not about an hour away from Madison. I think probably Mahant will talk about that. They're also using soy-based tires. They see this a lot more with the Green Fleet contest. I was just with the United Soybean Board people the other day in New York, and I told them, I said, I see a lot more soy-based tires. I mean, Mahant could talk about these, their performance. They were tested for years by the USB in different fleets. They work very well. This, to me, is very interesting too. They don't have it yet, but they're going to be getting it. It's a B100 wood chipper. I mean, that's digging deep. That to me is a very impressive detail. But the thing that they really are serious about too is inclusion and public outreach and participation. It was just so impressive on every level. For example, 300 people attended their opening ceremony for their facility, their fleet facility. I wish I could have been one of them. Something else that's very important to me, and a lot of fleets do it, I didn't bring it up on their slides, but it's this educational support for, in this case, they have full educational support at every level of, high school, technical schools, and university level. The University of Wisconsin is right there in Madison. And internships. So they're really helping to get young people into fleet, and they're helping to provide information and education for the fleets of the future. And we all know it's very hard to find staff. So this is so important. So thank you, City of Madison Fleet.
Yeah, well deserved. And the next slide.
Okay, number 2, this is the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation. And before we start talking about what they do, I think this picture kind of symbolizes this fleet. This is a picture, and Paris can talk about it in a little bit. This is a picture of a number of members of his staff standing on top of one of the buildings, which has a green roof. There they are. I just, I could look at this picture all day. It's just, I love seeing their faces. So to me, one of the things that was most important about this fleet is their employee inclusion and their awareness raising. Their commitment to people really shows. This is a big agency. They have everything from, beaches to inner city parks to everything in between. I mean, Paris will talk about it, but you can just imagine New York City. I mean, it's huge, and all the parks that they have to cover. It's a massive undertaking. So their commitment to people really shows. I found the way that their recycling evolution was explained was very, very compelling. They really didn't have any kind of program to speak of. And it started with an employee researching and creating a recycling manual. Again, that's something that anybody can do. You can have an intern do that. This is a great little project for small fleets. There's just no reason why you can't do this. So this is evolved into a, comprehensive, gigantic recycling operation. They recycled 150 tons of metal and generated $30,000. I mean, hey, that's not a huge number, but I think it's important. I don't care if it's $500. If that's your money for your agency, get it back. Why shouldn't you? I also really like their interagency cooperation with the Department of Sanitation. Our friend Spiro and Rocco at the Department of Sanitation, they do so many good things with the green fleet. So I really like the way these agencies are working together. And then, of course, we have the green roof. This is 46,800 square feet of green roof, which contributes to more efficient heating and cooling. Fantastic. They use B20, and I'm sure Paris will talk about that. I don't know if he's going to be using higher blends. He didn't mention that in his application, but I have a feeling they are. So possibly he'll talk about that. Now, I think permeable parking lots are really important. And I ask myself all the time, why my township here in New York is not doing this and making people do it. They have 5,200 square feet. This is a new parking lot. If you're making a new parking lot, and I know you all as fleet people are not in charge of this, but these engineers and architects should be aware of this and how important it is, and they should include it in their blueprints for these new facilities. New York City Parks did that. They also had 4,400 square feet of bioswales. You know, these are kind of geographic green topographical structures that absorb runoff. Again, so important. So thank you, New York City Department of Parks and Recreation. All right, if anybody's sitting there going, why have they not talked about us yet? Number
Okay.
one.
Number one, here we
Coming
go.
up.
Well-deservedly, great application, very well written. Hit the points on every point and well-deserved this year.
Yes. West Valley Construction. This is a utility contractor in California with a number of different facilities. They have a number of garages, number of facilities. And I would say they really made the case. They told their story that sustainability factors into everything they do. Everything. Not just new facilities, existing facilities, even leased and rented facilities. Very impressive. They want to know what their employees think. I mean, hey, what a concept, right? I could hear Tom Johnson saying that, like, what a concept. Asking your employees, what do you think is a good idea? They know that the best ideas come from within. Everything that they do at their garages is planned around facility sustainability. Layout, you know how they lay out their whole shop floor, their procurement, recycling, their operations, literally everything they do has to do with sustainability. Now they have a very impressive commuter program as well, which I think Jolie is going to, if she's not going to mention it, Jolie, maybe you can just throw a little info when you do your presentation. They're really careful about, you know, helping their commuters. And I learned a long time ago, if you want to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and if you're not looking at your commuter program, you're not reducing greenhouse gas emissions. It's a huge source of GHG. It's huge. So what else did they do? I was so impressed with their shop products and practices. You know, they use this citrus-based cleaners, synthetic lubricants. You know, they're utility contractors, so they even recycle their slag. I mean, very, very impressive. Likewise, they have a mud water separator. So they're, you know, California has all these water problems. So they're recapturing this water. Very, very impressive. They have used clothing drives. Again, that doesn't cost any money. It's free. You know, this is something that shows like, hey, we really care here. They collect food waste, which a lot of these other fleets that we've talked about today also do. I just, you know, I couldn't say everything that everybody does. They also, in terms of innovation, they really care about their neighbors. I found this very interesting. They can construct privacy walls between their facilities and their neighbors. My own personal favorite of everything, along with the wood chipper at Madison, is the goats that West Valley Construction uses for weed control. Now, Gary tells me this is very common. I can definitively state, I'll let Paris weigh in on it from New York City Parks. It's not common here. So I love the goats, saw a picture of the goats. And why not? They're doing it, it's wonderful. They also did something similar to City of Edmonton. They used recycled concrete from their old building as a parking lot base. So this is part of that whole LEED, recycling. So huge props to West Valley Construction. Private company, nobody's forcing them to do these things. They're doing it because they believe in it.
Yeah, well deserved, well deserved. Ken, looking forward to hearing from the top 3 fleets on telling their story. We'll come to that just in a minute. With that, we definitely want to thank our sponsors that make these programs and sponsorships possible for us. And this was going back to Tom Johnson's days and even up through NAFA. Asset Works, we personally been on Asset Works in 1995. We use that as our main fleet management system. What a great system, helps us track. And part of it here to be able to tell your stories and contribute to these contests is have a good fleet management system. Toyota Fleet, obviously Toyota Fleet is an innovator. Toyota, since they've come out with the hybrid, Prius years ago, has been an innovator in there. For now, they've got from the hybrid vehicles and everything out, quite a contributor to the industry. Fuel Force, nothing more but impressed with Fuel Force program of how you are able to track and manage your fuel. Geotab is just an innovator through telematics. They also have some great programs. So if you are a governmental municipality, they do have programs that are out there through source wells and everything else. And you can't forget North Carolina Clean Energy Center. And I got to thank Rick, and when Rick was part of the staff and their continued support with NAFA, being with NAFA on the sustainability certificate, they wrote the material for us. Great sponsor for NAFA, and look forward to their continued support. And with that, let's go to thanking everybody that applied. There were great applications. Sorry we didn't give a lot on some of the other information, but we had a lot of information we wanted to present and keep this on time for you. So we've left the spotlight with the top 10. And if anybody would have some Q&As, we'll monitor the chat box. And if not, we'll go ahead and kick into our speakers. So if you got a question or something, you want to throw something in the Q&A, we'll take the time to share that right now. Anybody out there? Okay, I'm not seeing a Q&A on my queue. Courtney, do you see anything on yours? I'll stop sharing here and maybe that might pick it up.
Gary, they can also put it in the chat.
In the chat? Okay.
Yeah, take a look in the chat. And probably like we still have another hour, so we'll have plenty of time for chatting and sharing at the end.
So, okay.
Thank you, Courtney and Gary.
Yeah.
We did invite the top 3 applicants to give a short presentation. I have them queued up. Please keep your camera and mic off until you're called on. And with that, I will turn it over to Mahan. If you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and turn the camera on, please do.
Yes, all right. Thank you very much. I hope you can see me and hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much, Annette and Gary and Courtney, and to the entire NAFA team for putting this together. It's a really great contest, great program. And I'm really proud of something I don't think anyone else can say, which is for 11 years, I worked in that New York City Parks garage as an alumnus now. And then I moved to Madison from New York City after 16 years. I worked with Paris and Keith Kerman and a lot of other great team members. And I learned a lot in New York City, and I'm applying those learnings into a new place here in Madison, Wisconsin, which wasn't really doing any of this when I got here 5 years ago. So I wanted to give a shout out to my friends in New York, And I learned a lot in New York. It's a great training ground. But I also learned that these skills are transferable. These environmental practices are also transferable. I'm going to try and share my screen if I can do my PowerPoint now. Hopefully you all can see a PowerPoint here.
Yes, we can see it.
Great. And so I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we're doing here in Wisconsin. Madison is the capital city. A few by the numbers, we're a much smaller fleet than New York. You know, we're about 1,800 vehicles. Pictured here are things you do in typically cold places. We have snow plowing going on today, right now, heavy snow today, policing, fire fighting, that kind of thing. What we're picturing here is the first electric fire truck to ever be placed into service in North America. That was in May 2021 by the Pierce Corporation. We support the Wisconsin economy as much as we can with our ecological, environmental programs. And so this is made in Wisconsin by Pierce Manufacturing. It's going into production soon, and many cities around the country and around the world would be able to buy these Pierce Volterras, all electric. Okay, we're attacking the 15% carbon dioxide emissions that fleet represents. That's got my name on it. That's what we're targeting every day. Okay, so I know today's a celebration and we're patting ourselves on the back a little bit, but I believe the news is bad. This is what motivates us. We're seeing record heat waves, droughts around the country, flooding, hurricanes, typhoons, various kinds of bad storms, forest fires. This affects the economy. Obviously, it affects it creates refugees around the world. We are actually losing the battle against climate change, in my opinion. And I don't think we're taking it seriously enough. I think all of us need to work harder, myself included, and all of you. This is what us adults of this generation are leaving to our children and grandchildren. This hellscape, if we don't fix it. And I think all of us who work in fleets and for governments, whether local, state, federal level, or the economy that's around, the industry that are around fleet, we can be the tip of the spear. We can be the generals in this battle against climate change. I don't think there's a question that we're destroying our planet. The evidence is overwhelming at this point. It's global. It's in every part of the world. Even here in Wisconsin, we've had crippling flooding that killed people and that cost many, many millions of dollars. In New York, we went through Hurricane Sandy, which was a horrible time for us in that northeastern part of the United States, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York City, Long Island, all around there. A lot of devastation, a lot of death. A lot of this can be prevented in the future if we simply manage to reduce our carbon dioxide emissions. Okay, a little bit more about the building itself. We're very proud of this. We moved in late 2020. This building's 116,000 square feet. It combined 4 buildings into one. So we've eliminated a lot of back and forth driving we used to do between 4 different facilities into one facility. All kinds of solar, so solar hot water panels, solar power panels. We have solar, something called sun catchers, which lights up all of our windowless spaces, all of our windowless meeting rooms, offices, hallways, get natural light. You often don't even have to turn on the lights at those times, even though there's no windows there. It's through kaleidoscopic mirrors. We also have the solar wall that was mentioned that heats our building in the winter. It's very cold for about 4 months of the year here. We also have solar charging stations through Beam, which I know in New York, that's where I learned about these products. And we also have the 3 kinds of charging at this building. That's city fleet vehicle charging. We have city employee personal vehicle charging, which I take advantage of for myself, for my personal vehicle. We also have a public charging station for any visitors, any members of the public that need a station. They can come by, plug in for a small charge of $1 per hour on level 2. So pictured here is the Tesla that I drive. I'm fortunate to have gotten some Teslas for us, along with a large number of other EVs that I'll talk about. And then finally, creature comforts is very important. Vitamin D in every single corner of this 116,000 square foot building where 40 of my colleagues work, where I'm working right now. I'm in here right now. Every single inch is covered in natural sunlight. That was not typical of the other 4 old buildings we moved into. The previous headquarters was a 1954 building. which I had affection for. That's the year my mom was born, was 1954, but it was not adequate for our needs for a growing city, growing fleet like we have. We're able to fix CNG in here for the first time in our own facility. And we do have a CNG truck that we operate. And biodiesel, we have biodiesel station here that can be used for any fleet vehicles that come here for repairs or if it's on their route. Okay, we talked about this a little bit, but we have 3 levels of apprentices right now, and we love these kids. They're all really great kids. We have high school kids, we have technical college students, and also college students. The college students typically do data analysis work for us, and the high school and technical college students are helping us on the shop floor, doing real mechanical work with their hands. We pay them really well. They get school credit as well, and I'm hoping some of these become full-time employees with us in the future, or even take my job one day in the future if things go well. We're teaching them about everything we're doing here. Biodiesel, very important. All of our biodiesel comes from Wisconsin feedstocks like soybean, used cooking oil, and it is processed right here in Dane County, right by Madison, supporting local jobs. We're doing 100% biodiesel using Optimus Technologies retrofit technology that's been funded by REG. REG has the plant here in Dane County and is the largest biodiesel producer in North America. Great partners. We do B20 in warm months, B5 in the winter, like right now, B100 on 15 vehicles, 3 more being added, including a wood chipper that burns 60 gallons of diesel per hour, an outrageous amount of pollution that will go to B100, eliminate 88% of that emissions. All right, types of electric vehicles we have. You've probably seen some of these. A lot of your fleets have these: Proterra Bus, Nissan Leaf, Tesla, Bolt, EV Ranger, GEM carts. A great application is electric forklifts. They work great. I mentioned the Pierce Volterra. We also have the Chrysler Pacifica minivan plug-in hybrid. We have a bunch of Ford Mach-E's that we're setting up for police and other uses. We have some Lightnings, F-150 Lightnings, working great for our public works. We have 2 Mack full-size electric vehicles, trucks on order, 1 rear loader, 1 side loader. I know New York City Sanitation has been testing these out as well. And we have a van on order. That's the transit van, 100% electric, also made by Ford. We use GPS. This does several things. We slow people down. They don't crash as much. We also save a lot of gas, and we can track idling, cut down on idling. We like to coach our employees and discipline where necessary, like if they're going 90 and overtaking the ambulance, which is speeding somewhere, they shouldn't be doing that. Typically, that would be proven by this GPS telematics technology. Every fleet must have GPS telematics to run a fleet efficiently. It pays for itself. We also talked about, hybrid vehicles. We have soy tires, over 1,000 of them now. Again, we're supporting the Midwest economy with this, including red counties, blue counties, all of it. This is something we can all agree on is good for us. And we're testing out bio-based fluids as well for our engine oil and other needs for vehicle fluids. Outreach. So I'm lucky. I spend most of my time on outreach and initiatives. I have my staff who are awesome. I have a great team. They run the place day to day, and I get to travel around the country talking about what we're doing, applying to awards like this, which is great because I hope folks learn from this presentation. I'm learning a lot already today from what was already presented. I'm looking forward to the next 2 presentations as well. I would invite all of you who would like to come to Madison to visit. We'll give you a tour. I will personally give you a tour. I would love to do that, no matter where you're from, and talk about what you all are doing and what we're doing here. And I hope you check out our website. You feel free to contact me at any time about any of these issues or many other things. We're a Vision Zero city as well, which I helped bring over from New York. And we're doing a lot of other fun stuff outside of sustainability as well. Thank you very much. I hope I was on time.
Wow, a lot of great things out there. Great presentation. I think you know where it's really tough to be a judge of this contest when you see the material that was presented, and definitely some great things going up in Madison. Wow.
Thank you very much.
And you were perfectly on time, Mahan. Thank you very much. Congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'd like to invite Paris to come on. You can turn on your mic and camera.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you and we can see you.
Very good, excellent. So first of all, let me thank you, Courtney and Gary and Rick. You're amazing. You're doing a great job and we really appreciate that. And then let me congratulate all the participants for the great job that they have done. I'm very impressed with the energy, the passion, the dedication of all the managers that, don't look the day-to-day operation, but they can see beyond that. They can see into the future and they are dedicated. They want to make a difference. They want to make changes and improve the things that we are doing. That's really amazing. Also, with this opportunity, I haven't seen my friend Mahan in a very, very long time. Mahan, you did a great job. Congratulations. Good to see you again. And without any further delays, let me share my screen. I hope you can
We can see it.
see it. Excellent. So, I'll start with by saying a few things about the Parks Department. We're a big agency, one of the major agencies in New York City among, the police department, sanitation department, the fire department. Millions of trees in the city, buildings, recreation centers, athletic facilities, the whole 9 yards. But we also have a very impressive fleet, 3,000 vehicles, 4,000 operators, 5,000 pieces of small equipment. I have listed so many different numbers here. I'm not going to waste your time with all those things. It is impressive though, because the people that work here, we have a small team, but they are absolutely amazing people. I really love them and I appreciate the work that they do. When we talk about vehicle fleet sustainability, usually people think vehicles. And here at Parks, we go beyond that. It's vehicles, it's the infrastructure, it's small equipment, small machines, and practices. Today, this contest is not about vehicles, it's about the infrastructure. It's a green garage contest. So I'll talk about the garages, I'll talk about our facilities, our fuel sites, our charging stations and the charging station infrastructure for our electric vehicles and our parking lots. I think this gives you the big picture of, the things that we are doing and maybe, give you some good ideas about things that you would like to do with your facilities. Now, Courtney, you mentioned the challenges, okay? So the biggest challenge I think for everyone is changing the culture. When I started here, and maybe Mahan can remember that, we were small in terms of recycling and, sustainability. Maybe we had a couple of different vehicles that were green, but now we're into the hundreds. How do you go from nothing to 75%, 80% green? It's not easy because people do not like change. So it takes a lot of work, great effort, training, creation of best practices, making structural changes, and obviously changing the equipment in your facilities, making them greener and more sustainable. So having said that, I have listed some of the things that we do. You will take me hours to go over every single one of them and explain the savings or list the savings in terms of energy, paper reduction, emissions reductions in the whole 9 yards. So we have replaced all the lights in our facilities with LEDs. We have a green roof. We have waterless urinals in our restrooms. We have bioswales in our parking lots, a brand new parking lot with bioswales and permeable pavers. We upgraded our HVAC systems and our ventilation systems. We use energy efficient appliances. We've installed motion sensors to control lights when people leave the office or when certain spaces are not occupied. We're saving energy this way. We have refillable water bottles and water fountains available to our employees. water separators, obviously, in our garages. We have weatherized our garages, big savings there. Installed hand dryers. We have installed skylights for natural lighting of our buildings and garages. I mentioned the permeable pavers. Now, the infrastructure, extremely important. You cannot electrify your vehicles if you don't have the proper infrastructure. I'm not going to talk about much about our fuel sites. There may be other cities or agencies that use hydrogen fueled vehicles. We are not there yet, but that's what I mean about infrastructure. You need, hydrogen fuel stations. You need electric chargers for your vehicles. So we have more than 450 charging ports for our more than 400 electric vehicles, which is amazing. It's amazing progress. We had a plan. Our plan was, we had a 10-year plan to electrify all our sedans by 2025, and we are 3 years ahead of schedule. We are almost like, right now we're 99% complete. So this is amazing progress. 48 of our charging ports are solar. This is really amazing because we don't use, this is pure free energy, no emissions, 100% emissions free. And that's really incredible. In terms of equipment, I mentioned the 48 solar carports. We have solar arrays, and I will talk about that later. We, like Mahant mentioned, we also use soy tires. We are making a very big effort right now to replace our small machines with electric machines. We have replaced already more than 750 pieces, but our goal is to get to 5,000. It's going to take some time. It's not easy due to funding, restraints and other restraints, but we're getting there. And of course, we have 82 solar light towers. It's also incredible considering the amount of fuel that we save by using solar light towers. Some of our practices, biodiesel heating oil. I did not mention B50 and B100, and I only mentioned B20 for parks because I'm referring to biodiesel use for our buildings, not our vehicles. We have tested B100 for our vehicles. This summer, we were using B50 in one of the 5 boroughs in New York City for all our diesel vehicles in Staten Island. And we also have used renewable or 100% renewable diesel. So, but this is for another presentation. This is for our vehicles. I'm going to concentrate again on our garages and our buildings. So B20 across the board for all our buildings. We also charge our vehicles overnight, which has made a very significant difference in terms of saving money. We recycle all parts to the best of our abilities, big savings there. We recycle obviously all fluids like everybody else. I want to believe that everybody else is doing that too. It's very important. And we also use biodegradable fluids, and we compost. Now, a few more things about our green roof, which is amazing. 46,800 square feet. People see this picture and they cannot believe that this is New York City, and it is. It's New York City Parks in the heart of Manhattan, and that's where we are. And this is one of the biggest green roofs in the area. I would like to share this picture here where you can see the before and after photos of our green roof. Again, I have listed here some of the benefits. It's really amazing what something like that can do to your facility in terms of savings, repairs, maintenance, heating and cooling costs. It's absolutely amazing. Not to mention that people go on the roof during their lunchtime and enjoy a really beautiful space. Our parking lots, 48 parking spaces, 5,200 square feet of permeable pavers, 4,400 square feet of bioswales. Amazing there also, you know, this is fantastic, really helpful for the environment. Our small equipment, this is a room with brand new all electric small equipment, replacing older fossil fuel based machines. Our solar arrays, 3,500 square feet, 90,000 kilowatt hours per year generated by this installation here, which is incredible. Composting, approximately 15 pounds per day, more than 5,000 pounds per year. We have several machines throughout our facilities, and people have embraced the idea. They use them, and it's extremely successful. Now, this is my last slide. It's about energy consumption. I wanted to show you, you know, what all those changes have done and why all the things that we're doing are important. As you can see here, energy consumption went down by 19%, and the savings are astounding, $142,000 per year. And also, you can see we also saved, we reduced oil consumption by 20%. If you see on this, you can see on this graph here that few years ago, energy consumption was really high. It dropped significantly, but over the past couple of years, it started going up again. And people ask me why. This is because we are electrifying our fleet, and there is a conflict there. On the one side, you're trying to reduce energy. On the other side, you're trying to electrify your vehicles that need electricity to run. So what can you do to resolve this problem? And we thought about that. And again, these are the things that we are doing, you know, solar panels and our solar carports. You know, by doing that, and we have 48 solar carports, and in 2023, we're going to double this number. We think that by doing those things, the upward trend that we've seen over the past couple of years will be reversed, and the downward trend will continue in the future. This is my presentation. You know, if you have any questions, this is my contact information. Feel free to ask. I enjoy talking to people and sharing ideas, learning from others, and try to implement other successful practices that people have implemented in other places. So feel free to reach out at any point in time, and thank you very much.
Well, very nice.
Thank you, Paris, and thank you, congratulations to your team as well. Now I'd like to invite Jolie to turn on your mic and camera. Ah, perfect.
Hi. And let me see here if I can get this to do so I can share my screen. There we go. Can you guys all see the slides?
Not yet.
Oh, try that one and share. How's that?
There it is.
Ouch. Already open this thing. Sorry, I'm not great in Zoom. Ouch. Oh, come on. So my name is Jolie, and I'm the fleet administrator for West Valley Construction. We are an underground utility construction company that supports local communities across California. The sustainability practices we employ in our maintenance shops goes from the way we design and lay out our shops, how and when we maintain our equipment, and with what supplies or materials we use, to the hearts of our employees who are not only well trained in sustainability practices, but have also helped to create and foster the sustainable culture we have here at West Valley. We use paperless technologies whenever possible. We do more with less by purchasing vehicles, equipment, and tools that are more efficient. We buy supplies and materials in bulk, reuse or repurpose before replacing, buy and use recycled, reclaimed, or renewable whenever possible. Prioritize non-toxic and eco-friendly products and services. We select only like-minded vendors and suppliers and subcontractors who share our sustainability ideals. We help our super commuters by providing a commuter benefit program and local hotel rooms when needed so they don't have to drive all the way home. And we even acquired a new facility to save on transportation costs, mileage, fuel consumption, and commute times, not only for the company, but also for employees. And a little bit on that, we have a lot of super commuters. Our average commute times are probably about an hour. So we do everything that we can to help not only for them, help them with commute times, help them with transportation, but we also will even help them. We have like a group of guys that comes in from Sacramento, comes into the Bay Area. And if any of you are familiar with California, the Bay Area traffic is bad. So we supplied them with a vehicle so 3 of them can travel in one vehicle as opposed to having to drive 3 vehicles to 2.5 hours to get here. We also support and donate to many organizations that help to educate, house, feed, and clothe those in our communities. Our shops range in size from 1 to 4 service bays and range in age from 6 to over 50 years old. The youngest facility we have was built from the ground up with sustainable materials, including recycling the building that was on the property when we bought it. Instead of demolishing and disposing of it, we had the building ground up on site and used as a base rock for the new parking lot. This facility was designed to be as sustainable and environmentally friendly as possible and set the new standard for all of our other facilities with features like water reclamation, in-ground oil water separators, bioswales, drought-tolerant landscaping, fuel station for renewable diesel, sensor-activated LED lighting, skylights, solar panels, a solar panel charging station capable of powering the fuel station or the office in case of emergency, energy-efficient appliances, tools, and equipment, and water-saving low-flow toilets and faucets. We even get goats for weeds control at one of our yards. All of our shops are very well insulated and have the most up-to-date, environmentally friendly HVAC systems, as well as large bay doors, light reflective interior paint colors, and skylights to lessen the need for artificial lighting. But when we do need artificial lighting, all of our shops have LED lights that use much less power and are more environmentally friendly. As you can see in these pictures on the slide, the top 2 are before and afters for one of our facilities. And you can see in the before picture, the low ceiling, the old fluorescent lighting, and the natural light wasn't going all the way back. When we finished it, after we painted it with white epoxy, add LED can lighting, the space is much lighter and brighter and takes much less energy. On the bottom are pictures of our Campbell shop. On the right and the left are old pictures of what it used to look like when we had fluorescent lighting and fluorescent and sodium lights. So even when all 4 bay doors were open and with the skylights on a sunny day, it was still pretty dark. In the center is what it looks like now with the bright white paint and the LED lights and the light. And it's so effective in there that during the day, we actually almost don't even need the overhead lights at all. Oops. Sorry, skipped ahead. Sorry, I lost my place. There are designated areas for certain shop activities that make recycling easier, like specialized fabrication areas to collect metal fines, slags, and shavings, water reclamation systems for our wash bays. We avoid the use of disposable products, but when necessary, these disposable products are recycled, renewable, or as environmentally friendly as possible. We use non-toxic automotive cleaners and degreasers, synthetic, renewable, or otherwise environmentally friendly lubricants, and water-based solvents for our parts washers. We've also ensured that our janitorial services use citrus-based and or otherwise non-toxic cleaning supplies, and that all of our disposable paper supplies like paper towels and toilet paper are made from recycled material. We also reuse or repurpose before replacing with new. We keep an inventory of good use parts from decommissioned vehicles or equipment for repairs before buying anything. We remove all reusable items from trucks that we're sending to auctions, like toolboxes, racks, beds, bodies, welders, compressors, and refurbish them if needed and install them on new cabin chassis. Our reuse and repurpose practices have also helped us through the recent supply chain issues. Since we keep a supply of parts, we were less affected than we would have been had we had to source new parts. When we do have to replace something, we make sure we can recycle what's replaced. We participate with all local recycling programs and work closely with our recycling service providers and our vendors to ensure that we can recycle everything possible. We regularly evaluate our PM service packages and have added more inspections and testing to identify problems quickly, to make minor repairs instead of major whenever possible. This has allowed us to increase the interval between our services, which lowers our consumption of maintenance items like fluids and filters. We also train our employees regularly on sustainability practices, including green supply chain and waste stream management, emissions control systems and testing. We supply them with the tools to aid them in these sustainable practices. Many of our mechanics are certified by the state to perform diesel exhaust emissions testing, and we perform this testing regularly in-house to ensure that the emission systems on our trucks are working optimally. We provide battery-powered tools and equipment whenever possible, and GPS software to aid with efficient routing to field calls, engine monitoring, and idle management. We are also in the process of installing EV infrastructure at our locations and are working with our utility company, local electricians and manufacturers to design and implement an efficient charging plan for converting our fleet to EV over the coming years. We began our EV journey by purchasing what was available, which includes plug-in hybrid and electric light-duty vehicles, which we charge with our portable solar chargers, as well as electric forklifts. We've continued this journey with purchasing new Ford Lightnings, which we expect to receive soon. But it'll be a while before we can fully convert our medium and heavy duty trucks and equipment, which has been one of the challenges for our fleet. So in the meantime, we continue to procure and use the most fuel efficient vehicles and equipment and continue to expand our use of renewable diesel. And as I mentioned before, here are our goats. These guys were also one of my favorites this year. And we actually, it was a thing of fate, I think. We didn't really seek them out, but we were presented with the opportunity to have them. When we moved our Chico operations into a new facility, it was an older facility and some parts of the yard had become really overgrown with weeds. And as we were working out the layout for the yard and we had planned on clearing the weeds in a more conventional way, we were approached by a neighbor who wanted to see if we'd be willing to let his goats do the clearing for us. And we said yes. So we set up temporary fencing and water troughs for them and let them go to town. It took them about a month or so to clear it all out. And they did such a great job that we worked it out with the owner to get them anytime we have enough weeds for them to eat, which we're expecting to be probably a couple times a year. These goats are a great alternative to conventional weed or brush clearing options. And I'm so happy that we took the opportunity to have them. Although they are curious and can be escape artists, ours got out of their enclosure once and were all over our parked equipment. Thankfully, they didn't get hurt and nothing was damaged. And it took a little bit to get them back in. But other than that, they were very well behaved. It's a wonderful thing to work for a company with such a commitment, not only to the environment, but also to its people and the communities that we serve. We have so many great minds and out-of-the-box thinkers throughout the company that have provided ideas which were put into practice, that have helped us meet and exceed our sustainability goals and have helped bring awareness and recognition to the fact that any company, including construction companies, as dirty as our work and equipment can be environmentally conscious and sustainable in all areas of our business. And that's my slides. And thank you, everybody. This is, I love doing this one. I mean, I like the green fleet too, but the green garage is always a fun one to do. And then,
Oh, what a great story.
Thank you, Paris, and congratulations to you and your team as well.
thank you so much. It's very humbling.
Okay.
Gary, Courtney, back to you.
Okay, so Courtney, any closing thoughts on the top three as they give their presentations? And we're open for Q&A, so those in the audience, if you have a question for the speakers while we do have them on the line, drop it in your chat and let's see if we can answer. So I was impressed, Courtney. You know, there's a lot of great stories on them.
Yeah, I mean, I want to thank everybody. I feel lucky that I was able to pull out these really good aspects of your fleet. And even though you didn't know, how highly you had placed, you kind of highlighted them yourselves, along with a lot of other things that you mentioned. Like Gary said, it's hard to cover everything. So for those fleets that are just starting with this, again, all it takes is one thing. I feel like that example of the recycling at New York City parks, it started with, one employee saying, I want to make a manual. And it's turned into this absolutely enormous endeavor. So I think it's easy, as Mohit said, it's easy to get depressed. I had, as an environmental scientist, I had to do like a thing the other day where you had to describe yourself in like 3 adjectives, like a team building thing. And one of mine was frustrated, which they did not put on the screen. I guess that didn't fit with their happy, vision of where we were going. But, I feel so frustrated. I think my hand really articulated, the concerns that we have about the world. I just get really depressed. But it's so encouraging to see that one person can do one thing that can make a difference. Like I said, I don't care how small it is. I think it's important.
Yeah. Yeah, and I found it really impressive with hitting all aspects of the main 7 questions that we had on the application. All the top fleets, I did a great job of answering those questions. And I think just into the top 3, they demonstrated all those points very well. Where one street fleet may be a little stronger on, they made it up in other areas on doing them. And I was definitely impressed with their presentations today, and I thought it was great and well deserved for those that are attending. One thing we also want to remind folks that the top 100 fleets contest through NAFA is now open. Go ahead and log on to NAFA's website and get your application and download it. This is a Tom Johnson's first original contest that he had put out there honoring the top fleets in the nation and actually being a recipient of that for 11 consecutive years in our organization. It's something that you look at, you look at the question, you want to raise the bar. It's definitely well worthwhile to take your time to fill out the application. We also do the Green Fleet Contest, with Courtney as the chief judge on. This is where we want to hear more about your fleet. This is where we want to hear about your vehicles, what you're doing, your charging stations, the different fuels you're using and everything out there. And again, the green garage, this is where we want to hear about your garages. And today we heard about those garages and great presentations. So.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, if for applicants, you're allowed to ask for a debriefing. We organize that. You can reach out to Nat at NAFA or Gary or I, and we, schedule an hour and you can ask questions. This has really helped, particularly with some of the Green Fleet Contest applicants. One of the very competitive applicants, who shall remain nameless, was really mad at the way he, she, or they scored, got in my face, yelled at me. And I said, look, you can ask for a debriefing. And that person did, and they won the contest the next year. So that's an avenue that's open to applicants.
Okay. All right. So I didn't see anything come through the chat. So want to thank NAFA today. We did ask Q, the top 3 that did the presenters, to stay on the call for a little bit. And Rick, if you could stay on the call too, that would be awesome. And with that, I'll turn it back over for closing with Annette. And I believe the recording is continually going and this will be available. Could you confirm that?
That's correct. Thank you, everybody, for your time this afternoon. This recording will be available later on this afternoon, and you will receive an email link with access to the video and to the handouts. Thank you all for your time this afternoon, and have a great rest of your day. Congratulations to everybody who applied, everybody who won. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, we want to take some pictures because Tom is not here with this little point and shoot camera that he used to use with his great pictures for his website. So we have to do screenshots.
Okay,
So if everybody wants to turn their cameras back on, Rick.
no,
All right. So do a screenshot. Everybody center yourselves in a good spot. Okay. All right, you all look good. So, but I feel like I'm in the middle, so that doesn't seem fair. I don't know how to rearrange.
That's on your screen. You at the top left on my screen.
Oh, good. All right. So you take a screenshot and I'll take one too.
Perfect.
All right,
Yep.
we got it. And if anybody wants to maybe bring up their presentation, so we have one, you know, with the top screen of your presentation, we can put that.
okay, so you'll take several pictures is what we're taking.
Yeah, we'll take a couple for the
All right.
website, as we say. Love the pictures. All right, so. Okay, that's a good one. I'll take one more and then we'll do your presentations. Okay, Gary, look up.
Look up the camera.
Yeah, Gary, the photographer, is looking down. All right, we got that one.
Hmm.
All right. So. Yeah, would you all like to just bring up I guess, and now we can't.
You'll have to do
more
that
than
probably one at a time, I believe.
Oh,
Courtney,
I don't want to
so-
keep you all. It's okay.
No.
We'll add a caption.
No, it does say that multiple participants can share simultaneously. So just click the share button and let's see what happens.
We're all learning about Zoom after 3 years.
Oh, it's New York City.
Yeah, we got him. All right, let me take that one. That's a good one.
Paris, put yours and change your view to presenter view. We're looking at your view as the
Oh, yeah.
yeah, just swap view. Go to display settings at the top left of your screen. There you go. Oh no, that's someone else's. Is that yours?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
okay.
has it.
Okay, perfect.
I'm getting I'm not getting a slideshow view here for my picture.
Yeah. Yeah, you got one on a slideshow.
Yeah, hit slideshow, Paris. Whoops.
Nope. There we go. Let's get the PDF. Nope.
Ew,
He's giving you everything.
that looks like one of Gary's shows. Gary's a pro photographer.
There's Madison's.
All
There we go.
right. Mohan, can you scroll forward to one with the logo? Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, we take. All right, put your head down, Mohan, because I can't see your cowboy hat. There we go. Oh, but it just popped out of, it went back to. You might want to hit slideshow again. There you go. Yeah, hit slideshow, Mohan. There we go. And then go forward one. Perfect. Okay. All right. Perfect. Excellent. All right, good. Taking pictures is never any fun. Okay, good. That was excellent. Yeah. All right. How about Jolie? All right, that's Paris. Paris, can you hit slideshow? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, good.
Change
right.
the view, Paris.
No, he's got, well, it's all right.
No, she's saying the stuff on the bottom. That's a preview. So when you
Where-
have dual screens, he's got.
Hmm.
You can go with that.
Yeah, it was all right. Good enough. Excellent. Okay, let's see. And Jolie?
Jolie, can you not bring yours up? Paris, can you stop sharing yours so that Jolie can bring hers up?
See, the point and shoot really was easy in retrospect. He had the best
There it
pictures.
is.
Oh, this is
There
a
it
great
is.
one. I love this one. Okay, Jolie, make a nice leap. All right, yeah, smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Oh, that's a good one. Excellent. Yeah, that was good. All right, great. Well, thank you for your cooperation, everybody.
All right, thank you, everybody. I am going to shut down the session. You all have a great afternoon and congratulations to you all and to your teams.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Go share the success with everyone. Talk to you
Bye.
later.
Oh, I meant to mention that your certificate will be in the mail. You'll receive them over the next week or so. Jolie, your plaque, same thing. So look for it in the mail.
Nice, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care. Thanks, everyone.